Yo, what is going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the exact 5-step process that I took for me to get a 91% show rate on one of my offers. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So the first step is building urgency. All right. So you want to figure out what's their why/need on why they want your product/service. Now you guys need to actively fucking listen and ditch the script. All right. There should be no need as to why you aren't actively listening to a prospect and giving them what they need. All right. So if a prospect tells you a multitude of emotional words like, yeah, my job is draining, or it's physically taxing on my body, or I'm just depressed here, there should be no reason why you go to the next question in the script and say, okay, and how long have you been wanting to get into YouTube for? Or how long have you wanted to get into trading for? You just completely forgot. You just completely went over what they just said, right? And then from there, since you went to logical based questions, they're not going to feel the need to trust you to open up to you like that again, right? And tell you their emotions. So you guys need to absolutely fucking listen and go based off what they say. If someone says, yeah, my body, I've been feeling physically drained, or this job is taxing my body, what do you mean by that when you say taxing? Taxing? Draining? Right? Mirror them or ask them, what do you mean by that? Clarify. Always get clarity on that. Now, the first step in building urgency is you want to get the goal, right? So it's not really, I guess it is building urgency, but what you're really doing is just making them realize what's already there. All right, because a lot of times these prospects, they don't ask these questions to themselves on a day-to-day basis or even a monthly basis for them to realize their current situation. So what we're here to do is to help them realize that, right? And the way we do that is by, number one, asking them what's their goal, right? Okay, cool. Why that goal? Why is that so important for you? How long have we been wanting to reach this goal for? Okay. The second thing is current situation/pain. All right. So why aren't we there yet? Right? Why aren't we there at the goal? And then they're really going to think about it. What's really holding them back? If they tell you, I don't know, have them think about it on the spot. Well, think about it. If you really had to think about it, John, if you really had to think about it, Sally, why aren't we there yet? Right? And then what do they feel is holding them back? What actions have they made to reach that goal? How long have they been feeling that way for? All right. And then once we get all that and they realize their current situation and how it's basically not going the way that they want to, right? And they're basically stuck. I don't really ask concepts questions on every single set call just because there's no need to. You'll understand and get better. Like I guess you could say, I like to call like your spidey sense, right? When you're on a setting call, you'll understand what questions to ask to certain people, what questions to ask, what not to ask to certain people, right? So consequence question, what happens if we continue down this path and you're still dealing with XYZ problems and nothing has changed? Obviously contextualize this. What I mean by contextualize is, let's say, for example, someone is struggling with leaving their job, right? Because the pay is good. It's kind of like golden handcuffs, right? Yeah, John. So what would happen if we continue down this path of continuously working at the job? And although the money is good, you still feel like you're being held back by your potential. And that means that you're still there at the job and you aren't able to do the things that you truly want to do, like travel and get the life that your family wants. And nothing has changed. What would happen then? Right? And then you have them answer it. And then the next question is, okay, cool. And I mean, out of curiosity, like with what you're currently doing now at the moment, is that going to allow you to reach 10K a month and get the life that your family wants? Or do you have to do something different, like whatever business model you're selling? So YouTube automation, Amazon FBA, trading, right? To get there. Really tie them down on that. Now, number two is locking down the time. So sometimes some things I like to say when I am locking down the time. So let's say, for example, a prospect, I got him down at 3 p.m. EST tomorrow, right? I'll say, cool, man. And other than like an earthquake or tsunami, is there any reason why you won't be able to make it tomorrow at 3 p.m.? And they're like, no, I'll be there. Are you sure? Yeah, I'll be there. Okay, cool, right? Sometimes that gets the prospects to laugh. Or another thing I'll say is, other than a zombie apocalypse, is there any reason you won't be able to make it there, right? It also makes you more memorable too. And then a quick note here too, if you are cold calling, another thing that I like to do as well is, or when I used to cold call, is I'll say, okay, cool, man. And John, like, why are you giving us the time tomorrow? You know, I know you get bombarded with a lot of cold calls and things like that, but why are you giving us tomorrow specifically? Really have them sell themselves on going with you guys. Now, number three, have them respond back to the automation text or the closer if you're putting them in a group chat with the closer while on the phone. So what I'll have them do is I'll be on the phone with them and say, hey, man, and also, did you get that text by, I'll say the closer name. So did you get that text from John, or did you get that text from Sally, right? She just texted you and sending you a confirmation text. Oh, yeah, I did get it. Okay, cool. So if you can, I would suggest sending them a text message back with either like a thumbs up or like, hey, I'll be there. Because if not, they will cancel your meeting because they take their time very serious. And it's only with people who actually do want to make more money with whatever business model, with YouTube automation or with trading, whatever it is. And then literally wait for them to text them back. Now, if you're on Go High Level, you'll be able to see the text message. Close CRM, you should too. I don't know about other CRMs, but you would just have to text or ask them back, hey, did you text them? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Now, obviously, if you put them in the group chat with a closer, you'll be able to see it. Another way too is if you don't want to do the text messages, which I suggest you do, but if you want to do email, what I'll have them do is I'll say, I'm sending you a calendar invite. Just do me a favor while I have you on the phone. Check to see if you got it and hit accept. And then we do have a VA that does work for us, and she is brutal. Anything that's not accepted, she just automatically erases off the calendar. So let me know once you accept that. All right, number 4, sending testimonials in between the first call and the sales call. What I like to do is I like to send this text message here in between like the initial call that I had with them, the outbound setting call, and then the sales call. So if I set someone, today's Thursday, if I set someone for Friday, I will send this to them usually like at night or something, or usually like the morning of. Now, if I set them today and I set them today and it's for Saturday, I will send this on Friday, right? So literally in between. So I'll say, hey, John, you know what? I was thinking about our conversation earlier, and it made me remember one of our students that completely changed their life, not only his life, but also his family life by making 90 to 100K a month with his YouTube channel. Here's a little deep dive on how he did it. And then I'll send the link. Boom. Another thing you can do too is say, like, you want to know how he did that. Get them to respond. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Boom. Send them the link. Now, there's a few things on why I do this. Number 1, it gets them to get more bought in on the program and on the business model. Number 2, it gets them to respond back to my message, right? And number 3, it reminds them as well about the meeting too. Number 5, calling before the sales call. So if I set someone for, let's say today's Monday, I set someone for tomorrow, which is Tuesday or Wednesday, I will call them the morning of the meeting to confirm the call. And the way I'll do that is I won't just say, hey, I'm calling to confirm the meeting, or calling to remind you that your meeting is at this time. I don't do that. I feel like that's kind of salesy. What I'll do is I'll say, hey, John, this is Aaron with such and such company. We spoke yesterday about XYZ. Do you remember that? Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Or I won't even say remember that. I'll say we spoke about XYZ. I know we set a meeting for today at 11 a.m. PST. Just wanted to know if you had any questions prior to hopping on the call. And then they'll say yes or no. If they do, I'll say, cool, if you could. Or I'll say, what questions did you have? I say, perfect. What I want you to do is write those down on your phone or on a notebook and bring that to the call with John, close your name, right? So that way he can go over it with you. Perfect. Boom. The reason why I have them say their question is just so that way it sticks in their mind even more. They said it out loud. Now it's real. And now that they are going to have a higher likelihood of showing up. Now, if I set them 3 days plus out, to be honest with you should not be setting the past 3 days. In my opinion, if you do need a follow-up with them in between. But if you set them 3 days in past, what I'll do is I'll call them the day before. So today's Monday, and I set them for Thursday. I will call them on Wednesday, and I will send them the testimonial. Actually, I'll send them 2 testimonials, one on Tuesday and then one on Wednesday. And then, no. I'll send them a testimonial on Tuesday, and then I'll call them Wednesday. And then the meeting's on Thursday. So now if they don't answer, what I'll send is this. I'll say, hey, John, looking forward to the meeting today with John at whatever time zone. Did you have any questions prior to hopping on the call regarding whatever your business model is, right? What this gets them to do is this gets them to respond back to the text. It also reminds them that, hey, my meeting is at this time. Completely forgot. Now I remember. Because another thing too, people, like, as far as like no shows and stuff like that, people think that people are deliberately no showing. You got to remember that these people are human as well. Sometimes they just forget. Sometimes they have work come up, right? Or they're oversleeping. They just need to be reminded, right? I need to be reminded about small things too. I have a lot of things going on in my head. So these people, imagine what they're going through. All right. So that's basically it. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe as well. If you have any more questions, put them down in the comments below, or my Instagram's in the description. Peace.